Hello, my name is Dr. Joel Klenck. I'm an archaeologist trying to prevent a cultural atrocity, namely the total destruction of Noah's Ark by decomposition due to melting glacial ice and permafrost and the continual looting of the site. These lectures will be for President Erdoğan of Turkey, the Turkish government, and for the Turkish and Kurdish citizens of Eastern Anatolia, some of the best news of your entire life. For those of you who own land around Mount Ararat or Ağrı, do not sell it, because the land is going to be very valuable and you are going to be very rich. In these next presentations, I will show for the very first time to the global public and the citizens of Turkey the location of Noah's Ark near the summit of Mount Ararat, the description of its features and artifacts, and why. Because glacial ice surrounding the site is melting, the Ark is decomposing and being looted, and it's my job to mitigate the loss of historic properties so we can at least save a portion of it. Here, the earliest artifacts and dates support an origin of the structure of 9,650 BC, which conforms to conventional dating, but other radioisotope dates on the same samples show dates of 2400 BC, which supports dates for Noah's flood from Chronologies from the Bible and the Qur'an. What we're going to talk about is descriptions in ancient accounts, specifically Genesis and the Quran, the location in Armenian maps, art, and iconography, which show the location of the Ark, and Armenian trails that all indicated the location of Noah's Ark. Furthermore, we will talk about why this site is Noah's Ark, a large prehistoric maritime barge, as opposed to another terrestrial building, such as a temple, domestic dwelling, fortification, or any other type of site. We will discuss why this structure is associated with Noah and his family as opposed to other persons from other ancient flood accounts, such as the Epic of Gilgamesh and the legend of Atrocity. We're also going to describe why Noah's Ark was concealed for so long, mostly due to nationalism, ethnic hatred, and greed. We'll also discuss the modern coordinated efforts of two groups and their international colleagues to denigrate the site as a hoax to prevent Turkish authorities investigating and arresting them. And they were doing this so that they could steal artifacts from the site, profit from illegal tours of Noah's Ark, hide the site and its artifacts from Turkish authorities to start a private museum and provide funds, potentially, to warring factions inside Turkey. We will also talk about how severe the punishment and retaliation will be from both the Turkish government and Kurdish groups when they discover these two groups prevented billions of dollars and euros from benefiting the peoples of Anatolia. These two groups chose poorly. The retaliation from Turkish and Kurdish populations is going to be thorough. Then on the lighter note, we're going to describe why the discovery of Noah's Ark will generate at least 35 billion a year to the Turkish government and Kurdish populations in Eastern Anatolia, and make the Republic of Turkey one of the richest nations on earth. Noah's Ark will turn Eastern Anatolia and Turkey into a pilgrimage site for the entire world. Before this time, Turks and Kurds struggled over limited resources, and there was much conflict. Now, these two populations must resolve their differences to manage all the money that will overwhelm them and build the infrastructure in eastern Turkey to handle the billions of people that will make a pilgrimage to Noah's Ark. We'll discuss the ancient and historic surveys of Noah's Ark and why others mostly did not report the location of Noah's Ark because they coveted the site. It became their own special site that they didn't want to tell anyone about. And due to greed, and then also fear of ridicule. And then they regretted their decisions before they died. Well, I'm not going to have that problem. By the end of these discussions, everyone that watches these videos will know everything about Noah's Ark, and there will be no secrets. Then we'll discuss why Noah's Ark is so important to science and religion, because it is the Rosetta Stone between science and faith. The biggest being the dating of the origins of the Ark, where the artifacts and the series present a series of radioisotope dates showing an origin of 9,650 BC, which conforms to current scientific dates on the transition between the Pleistocene and the Holocene, and of the Stone Age and the beginning of the Farming Age. And then on the same samples, there's another set of dates to 2500 BC, which conform to biblical and Quranic dates for Noah's flood. The data from 9,650 BC conforms to many aspects of the description of Noah's Ark in the Bible and the Qur'an. Rapid rise of global sea levels, the filling of the deserts, like the Sahara, the Rub' Khali, and the Atacama with water, the extinction of the megafauna, and most species in Australia, North and South America. The destruction of all but one human species, our own. The global eradication of human populations where a semblance of the archaeological culture survive, but not the human populations. Tremendous geological activity and the transition from the end of the Stone Age to the beginning of the Farming Age. The secular scientific community missed the relevance of these data. But now with the reality of Noah's Ark on Mount Ararat, the Pleistocene-Holocene transition will be analyzed for what it is. Noah's flood, a unique and horrific extinction event. Lastly, we'll talk about the cultural predictions about the discovery of Noah's Ark and what is going to happen to human history, from the very positive in Islam and the New Age religions to the very negative in Christianity and Judaism. The knowledge of the location and the reality of Noah's Ark and the global flood will prompt the realization that Genesis and some of the accounts in the Quran regarding Noah are true and represent a paradigm shift. From the rejection of the spiritual and blind allegiance to the secular to the increasing acceptance of the spiritual and rejection of the secular, Noah's Ark is a miracle, but a miracle that can be tested, measured, examined, and will prompt humanity to question atheism and agnosticism. Will also prompt the rejection of the paradigms of the last 150 years and forge a new understanding of our origins, our commonality, how truly special we are.